Hello, welcome to our astrology study group. And today we are going to look at a little bit different side of medical astrology, kind of taking a little bit wider look and tying in some key concepts that we look at in astrology all the time. And it's the elements. And it's, easy to see your aspects and to get the feel of what's going on in the body by kind of focusing on the elements, because we know we have the fire element, the earth element, the air element, and the water element, and they just repeat around 3 times, so to make the 12 signs. So when we add up all of the elements, and there's a few ways that we've looked at, some people give different point systems, and other people just we've looked at it just straight, but there's like point systems that give a little bit more weight to the sun and the rising, if you know it. There's a few ways of doing it. I guess more of the inner planets, the personal ones, not so much the outer ones. Anyway, when you look at that, it kind of can give you a little bit more look into the body, and it becomes a little bit easier to understand. So if we have an excess of fire, it's going to be one thing, a low fire is another. And, intuitively, this makes sense to you. It's like when you look at this, I have this little worksheet here that you can just duplicate and, jot down some things as we go through this. Today, we're going to look at Diane L. Cramer, and her book called Managing Your Health and Wellness. It's a cool little book. It's got a little DVD in it that runs a little report, or not a DVD. Yeah, a little DVD. Is that what that is? A little disc. That runs a little health report. It's good, and she's got a lot of information in here. I noticed a lot of her books are kind of based on her lecturing. So I guess she lectured for a while, and a lot of that was transcribed into books. Anyway, we can pick up some things all over the place. And I like her aspecting, her thoughts on, for the most part, on medical astrology. And, we'll look at a little bit more of what she says and kind of pick it out a little bit, bring some things out as we go through this. So we're going to go ahead and start with the excess of fire. So, and I'm going to read some of it and then paraphrase some of what she says here. So I'm just going to start right in. In medical astrology, the fire element refers to physical energy and the digestive processes. Excessive fire in the chart generates a lot of body heat. Your physical energy is high, and there is a potential to burn yourself out, leading to exhaustion and adrenal burnout. You need to learn how to conserve your physical energy. Pace yourself. Have a schedule. Your tendency to push yourself to your limits puts a lot of wear and tear on your physical body. This continual stress on the body can lead to conditions such as high blood pressure, migraines, ulcers. You may also be prone to excessive perspiration and become easily dehydrated, sweating out all your minerals. And so you need to replenish fluid. Okay, here's where she says, you need to replenish fluids to your body. Yep, of course. You may be hot-tempered and angry. Yeah. You may be pushy and egocentric, thinking of only your own needs. You can be highly impatient with a tendency toward heartburn. And then it's interesting here. She says liver problems and stomach and gallbladder disorders. Interesting, because in the next one, the low fire, it's there as well. So if we think about the fire in the body, creating metabolism, I was thinking about that. If you have too much fire in the liver, just my initial thoughts was like too much of a phase 1 liver detox. That's going to be burning up a lot of the antioxidants, which would kind of make sense because this is, the body is inflamed. It's being pushed a lot. It's being heated. So phase 1 would have to increase to to provide the antioxidant reserve, but then it would suffer on phase 2. All right, and then gallbladder disorders, excessive fire. I was thinking about that. Bile, Um, I guess maybe if there's, it seems like if there's stones and crystallized stones, you'd have that Saturn cold, not moving. So I don't know. I'd have to think about that, what she would mean by that. Anyway, we'll move on about that. So people with excessive fire need to limit their consumption of spices and stimulants. You need to balance your fiery nature by consuming foods that are cooling and moist. You would benefit from bland foods such as raw or steamed vegetables, juicy fruits, and dairy products, as well as relaxation techniques such as yoga and meditation. A cold shower or water activities such as swimming or sailing can calm the fiery energies. Spices such as cumin, coriander, fennel, and dill are good for the fiery types. See, those are all cooling. And I love that book. I think it's called The Yoga of Herbs by Vasant Lad, I think it is. Yeah, Vasant Lad. Really good. He goes into a lot of our Western culinary herbs as well as Indian herbs. Really good on giving you the properties of the herb. It's great. It's a good book. The Yoga of Herbs. What else here? Okay, so she said cumin, coriander, fennel, and dill. They're all cooling. It's like in the summer, you want to put dill and cucumbers together, right? That's a real cooling dish. Okay, good for artistic activity could also be used for an outlet. So it's like channeling that adrenal energy of just go, 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 get it done, push, push, push into a different part of the brain, a more spacey, timeless, right-brained activities, to calm the body down. So yeah, you can see that would, they'd be too much adrenaline, adrenal burnout, pushing through things either physically or like endurance wise, so yeah. All right, now low fire in the chart have adverse effects on both your mental and physical health. You can be lethargic, lacking of courage, or have a lack of confidence, leading to poor self-esteem. You may experience vitality problems and have poor digestion. You may have poor circulation, poor muscle tone, and indigestion. There can be a lack of energy to resist disease. The body heat is low, thus the metabolism would be low, right? And you must be subject to, and you may be subject to sluggishness and depression. The liver and gallbladder may not be working up to par. All right, that's what I was thinking when I read that before. So there's not enough fire in the whole digestive process. This would be, it could also be times of life. So don't just think it's like your personality, because there's different times of life, that this happens. Okay, keep moving. There are various ways to increase the fire element. Engaging in some kind of physical exercise or on a regular basis can increase the fire element. Gradually adding more spices and sour foods to the diet can stimulate digestion as well as the absorption of nutrients. I would also say bitter foods too, because bitters always get the digestive system moving. They crank up the ability for the secretions of the stomach, like gentian root, gentian, Gentain, has always been used to help, start the process of increasing the, how would I say, the ability of the stomach to produce the acids and fluids to start the whole digestive process. So that one, and then Swedish bitters, those are real bitter herbs put into either water, an aqueous, or an alcoholic solution to, take around meals, like, a teaspoon or half teaspoon or however, depending on how strong they are. And that's why people eat, traditionally salads, not like our Western salad with iceberg lettuce and chunks of, genetically engineered tomato. It's more like arugula and some bitter greens, bitter lettuces to help stimulate digestion. All right, more spices, sour foods. Okay, we also said cayenne, cinnamon, cardamom, curry, ginger, peppermint can aid in the digestion. You can also bring the element of fire into your life by utilizing the color red and orange in your clothing and decor. Yeah, really. Brighten it up. Open your shades during the day. Herbs that stimulate the liver and gallbladder, what we just talked about. She also says burdock and dandelion, always good for those organs, the liver especially. Lighting candles or using a fireplace increases the fire element. Aerobic exercise will strengthen the heart and circulation. Singular activities that increase self-confidence, such as roller skating, ice skating, skiing, hiking, mountain climbing, will increase the fire element. Cool beans. Warm beans. Okay, now let's get into the earth. And it would be, if like we started, say, with Aries, then you would move into, say, Taurus or all the other earth, but we follow the natural flow. Excess of earth in the chart can cause a feeling of sluggishness in the body and a sense of lethargy. There's a tendency for stocky build or overweight body. You probably don't exercise enough or don't like to exercise. You can be rigid and compulsive and can be overly obsessed with your body. Your metabolism can be slow. Health-wise, you may experience deposits in the joints and arteries and develop health problems due to the imbalance of heavy metals and calcium. Ooh, interesting. See, heavy metals, right? And nowadays, right, with all the chemtrails and all the nanoparticles and all the glyphosates and all the heavy metals, tons of them, not just mercury anymore. There's a lot of heavy metals in our whole food chain, and those get deposited in the body and we don't get rid of them. So the body can experience blockages and physical congestion. You need to stimulate your digestion, which is sluggish. It can be done by eating foods containing spices such as cayenne and ginger, like like fire person, getting more exercise and eating light foods such as fruit salads, sprouts, and vegetables. Cut down on heavy foods such as meat and potatoes that requires a long time to digest. You need to drink plenty of water and limit your consumption of dairy products. Avoid eating in between meals, as you need to allow plenty of time for the food to digest. So that's kind of makes sense. Utilizing bright yellow and orange in your decor can help energize excessive earth. Engaging in some type of precision sport, such as pool, tennis, golf, or badminton, will help increase agility and overcome the sluggishness of earth. Pretty good. I love this stuff. I like how she pretty much focuses on a nice general, but yet focused areas. It makes sense to me too, intuitively. All right, low earth. If you don't have a lot of earth in your chart, you're not grounded, right? And you appear to be spacey and dreamy, man, unstable. You can be unrealistic or impractical, and you do not manage your time well. Others may see you as unreliable. It's like you're out there holding your own kite string. There is a need to deal with tangible and practical world. See, this one you would think of somebody as excessive air too. So you can kind of see a deficiency of one could kind of be the same as the other. Like we had with the earth and fire one. All right. Anyway, you may be out of touch with the needs of your body and ignore warning signals of a potential health disorder. You may eat on the run or skip meals. You do not always get enough outdoor exercise or sunlight. You may have poor skin tone. There can be bone weakness, which is helped by exercising and a diet containing sufficient minerals, right, to ground you, and minerals and more minerals. Now, good minerals, not toxic minerals, I have to say. The chelated or the minerals, that come through the plant forms. You can be helped by grounding techniques, such as a regular schedule of eating or sleeping or relaxing. Other grounding techniques include gardening or communing more with nature. Having a grounding pad, grounding sheet, grounding, on your bed, grounding pads for underneath your computers. All of that definitely would help you. Other grounding techniques are other, like a trip to the national park or driving through the countryside. You can increase the earth element by wearing earth colors, such as browns, tans, and greens, or having plants in your house or spending more time outdoors. A weekly massage can also increase your body awareness. Honey, my therapist said I have low earth and I need to have a massage every week. Eating heavy foods can ground you. These include like root vegetables such as carrots, potatoes, turnips, beets, and squash. Beets, I think, are really good for everybody. You know, they're really good, full of a lot of minerals that we need, methyl donors. You can have them raw, you know, grated in salads, pickled, you know, baked. There's, you know, just get them in. They're really good food. I think it'd be one of the superfoods of vegetables. You can also benefit by including whole grains, brown rice, nuts, but I would say whenever you need nuts and seeds, make sure you soak them because they're full of enzyme inhibitors, phytates, and the fats are really hard to digest. People start munching down on nuts and they get all kinds of liver and gallbladder problems because they can't handle those excessive fats. We're not meant to eat a ton of nuts at one time. That's why, you know, God puts them in those packages like they are, you know, a real hard shell. It's not easy to get a lot of them out. So beware of that. Oils, make sure the oils are good, not high omega-6 oils in clear bottles. You want good, butter, high omega-3 oils, coconut oil, maybe I'm not big on a whole lot of extracted oils, actually, but those, anyway, cheese, butter, garlic, onions, and spices such as ginger and curry in your diet. Ginseng, pineapple, and fennel can be helpful in stimulating digestion. Definitely pineapple. You might, but be careful, like when you eat it. It's a fruit, so you don't want to eat it with the certain foods because it may interfere. Okay. Excessive air. The air element refers to the circulation of the body, the nervous system, respiration, and communication. With an excess of air in the chart, you are highly intelligent but can be detached and impersonal. You tend to ignore the needs of the body. See, that would be kind of ungrounded as well, right? As you are good at rationalizing. You have an overactive mind, which can lead to nervous exhaustion. The nervous system is highly charged and extremely sensitive. You tend to be nervous, jittery, anxious. You appear to be energetic, but tend to run on nervous energy without having any real stamina. There is a strong mental component with excessive air, with the inability to turn off the mind, leading to insomnia or just nervous tension. Teas such as chamomile, skullcap, vervain, and valerian can help calm the nerves. Activities such as yoga or breathing exercises can aid the nervous tension. I have to just underline that. Breathing exercises. Everybody should be doing. Should. Capital S, should. No, it would be very beneficial to do that. But, we forget to do that. We forget to breathe. We only breathe kind of top of the lung and shallow and don't get enough of the deep air breaths. You really fill your lungs up and hold it in a little bit and letting it circulate sometimes, and then exhaling, or maybe powerful exhales to get rid of a lot of yucky stuff sometimes around you. We don't use the breath enough, I don't feel. So anyway, bring consciousness to the breath for all signs. There can be tics and spasms caused by an overload on the nervous system. You need periods of rest and relaxation to allow the nervous system to recharge itself. Naps would probably be really good. You're prone to ailments such as asthma, anemia, flatulence, and muscle spasms and pain. Peppermint tea can, and I must say, also more magnesium. Getting the magnesium, especially in the forms that you can relax. Sometimes the citrate makes you have a little bit active bowels. So the glycinate seems to be a really good form to get enough in without it affecting your bowels. Also, taurate and slipping my mind. Another one I like. All right, anyway, peppermint tea. For digestive disorders and digestive enzymes. Sometimes just betaine hydrochloride is good. Other times may need other adjunctive enzymes like protease for protein digestion and amylase for carbohydrate digestion, and sometimes real specifically lipase for fat digestion. There seems sometimes to be a problem that people have to digesting fats, especially all the bad fats that are in our diet. All right, you may be prone to headaches and indigestion. Excessive air dries up water, which can lead to thirst and dehydration. You tend towards dryness, causing dry, rough skin, brittle hair and nails, stiff joints, and diseases such as arthritis. Also, I find she brought up arthritis. Boron, from borax, is so helpful to that. I've seen a lot with just recently. I've found with myself and some my husband and I, and then patients, people we work with, using the borax, and the dosage is 1/4 teaspoon for women. No, sorry, 1/8 a teaspoon for women, 1/4 teaspoon for men. Stir it up in water or anything and kind of do the day or whatever, at night, or just to spread it out a little bit, or put it in some of your drink, and then like 5 days on, 2 days off. It really helps the body to maintain a better calcium metabolism and pulls out a lot of the deposits in joints. I can attest to that. Just recently. So without getting into my whole drama, anyway, just, it was amazing. It's amazing. I forgot about how good that is, and there's a lot of calcium products out there with boron in there, but it's not enough. All right. Arthritis symptoms, deposits in joints, boron from borax. You need to increase your intake of fluids, especially water. You benefit from eating whole grains and taking B complex, vitamins, and magnesium. There we go. See, magnesium is the relax mineral, and we don't get enough, and it's hard to get enough in a diet, and it's hard to get in enough good supplements. All right, low air. Got low air in my tires. With a deficiency of air in a chart, you may have poor communication skills and a dislike of socializing. You can lack a sense of humor. You need to think things through more carefully before making an important decision. You may have a difficulty in the flow of body energies, leading to poor circulation, a weak system, tiredness, shortness of breath, and slowness of movement. Your body can lack elasticity and flexibility. Movements such as dancing and yoga can increase flexibility. Low air can be helped by deep breathing exercises and fresh circulating air. Open your windows. A trip to the mountains can be rejuvenating. Wearing sky colors such as blue and coral can help. Pleasant sounds such as music, and then the nice music. 528 tuned music would be even better, or calming and increase the air element. Heavy foods can be kept to a minimum, as they add the heaviness of having low air. But eat plenty of raw fruits and vegetables, vegetable juices, live food. Like, so I like sprouts. You can have your diet and be into sprouting because they're live and so enzymatic. Easy to do alfalfa sprouts, and store them in your refrigerator. Throw them on things. Just have a handful. Those are easy. Juices, sprouts, grains should be added to the diet. Yum, yum. All right, coming on to our last one is water. Water. Excessive water. With an excess of water in the chart, you can appear to others as dreamy and spacey. You're highly emotional and can become defensive at times. You are prone to depression and moodiness. You need to learn detachment. The need to use psychic self-defense to avoid picking up negative vibrations around you. Shungite products would be helpful. You can learn to channel your emotions in a positive way by getting involved in creative projects. Because water is cold and wet and heavy, and excess can contribute to phlegm and mucus discharges in the body, which affect the lungs and throat. You may be prone to colds and lymph congestion. See, the problem with colds, what I think is on something like that, colds and flu, those are toxins coming out of the body. If your eliminative routes were working, if this digestive fire was digesting and not producing undigested material that has to be stored in the body, then all of a sudden it builds up, and then you don't get enough sunlight, you get too much stress, you get dry air, your body gets quote unquote sick. So if the colon gets sluggish, that's one of the first things that will come out is you have the lungs, the lungs in the colon. So the colon gets congested, and then the the body has to get rid of it somehow. So it's going to cough it out mainly. So that's where you get the respiratory involvement. So they're the old time remedy of enemas, not only relieving the bowels of dry, hard poopies, rabbit poopies, but it dilutes them out and it gets rid of the toxins that are stuck in there. It also is one of the best remedies for moving the lymph in the body when you can't be moving around, when your body's kind of sick or you're not able to be active, it helps the body drain out the toxic lymph. So, all right, might be prone to colds and lymphatic congestion. So excessive water aids in eliminating toxins from the body, but you can become waterlogged and overweight, stagnant, like a swamp. Prone to diseases involving discharge or buildup of fluids in the body. You can be overly sensitive to pollutants in the air, leading to allergies. You could benefit from living by the sea and breathing salt air and exercising more. Just having some air purifiers in your house would be very beneficial as well. Everybody. People with excessive water benefit from ingesting bitter herbs and utilizing diuretic herbs such as dandelion leaf, nettles, and alfalfa. I also find lemons are diuretic. You drink some lemon juice and you'll pee off a little bit more fluid. You'll look a little slimmer the next day. The consumption of sweets and dairy products should be kept low. That all contributes to more phlegm and mucus in the body. Foods that retain water, such as bread and salt, and especially melons, should be kept to a minimum. Heaviness of water needs to be balanced by light foods, such as dried fruits, salads, hot spices, such as cayenne and ginger. Eating brittle foods that crumble, such as crackers and chips, helps reduce excessive water. Exercise is also beneficial. Chips. Oh no, now I'm hungry. I want some Mexican food, spicy salsa. Low water. With a deficiency of water in a chart, you tend to be restless, jittery, anxious, unstable at times, and fearful. You may have difficulty understanding your own emotions and can lack empathy. You may have problems showing emotions. Blocked emotions can lead to physical problems in the body that can cause an energy blockage. There can also be water blockages in the body and poor or slow healing. Hair, bones, and nails can be brittle. You may have stiff joints and dry skin. You may be thirsty all the time and have to be careful of dehydration. There may be a difficulty in eliminating toxins from the body, which can be helped by drinking plenty of fluids every day. You benefit from drinking fresh water, make sure it's purified, distilled, or fresh spring water, or, definitely if you can structure it in any way, that would be very helpful. You need foods that are rich, oily, and moist, and can benefit from herbs that absorb moisture, such as Irish moss, slippery elm, and licorice. I'd also say marshmallow root. That is so healing and mucilaginous to the whole GI tract. It's also very helpful for the lungs as well. But you have to make a cold infusion with marshmallow, like soak it in just room temperature water overnight. Maybe shake it, put it in a jar or something, shake it. Or you can do it during the day. I'd let it go for 6 hours or overnight and strain it off and drink that. It's going to be slightly mucilaginous, but very, very healing to the whole gut. Vegetable juices, eat lots of juicy fruits and vegetables, drink vegetable juices, including more soup in your diet. Limit your consumption of raw diuretic foods, such as carrots, celery, cabbage, and asparagus. Of course, you don't want to be bleeding off too much water, right? Salt is acceptable, but not in large quantities. I think people need salts personally. I don't think we get enough, but this is because there's not enough. They're saying not enough water, be careful on salt. But a full spectrum salt, not just sodium chloride, a Himalayan salt, Celtic salt, Redmond's real salt. Having an aquarium, joining a pool club, taking baths instead of showers, using bath oils, going to a sauna, hot tub, scuba diving, swimming, all increase the water element. Living near water and interest in the arts can also increase the water element. All right, so these were kind of a broad, but I think very good overview. Again, that was from Managing Your Health and Wellness, A Guide to Holistic Health from Diane Cramer. And she's got a few things out there really, really good on that level. So look at your own chart, kind of tally things up, see, where there's excesses in your chart or low. You may, like the other day, I saw somebody that had equal amounts, had same amount of earth. They had three earth, three air, three water, and no fire. I didn't know the rising. So, so it was like, everything else was equal, but then it was like no fire. But there again, I don't know what houses, because I didn't know the time, but still, so that was kind of interesting. Also look, if it's kind of equal for you, give yourself a little more emphasis. Maybe if the tiebreaker could be the sun, give it a little bit heavier weight, or the rising, because that kind of weighs in a little heavier, more as your essence of your personality. All right, what else was I going to mention about these? Also looking at progressed chart, if we're one way when we're born, we could be progressing into more, into a different arrangement of elements, and that's good to be aware of as you get older, as you change. All right, that being said, I think we're done here today. So check your chart, check charts of others, and look at things with the lens of a little excessive or a little low of the elements, and how you might balance that. All right, thanks for listening, and talk to you next time. Bye for now.